Hello, and welcome to another episode of Opening the Package, Toy Collecting with Ian Brazy Cannon. Today, we will be talking about the Hobbit toys. Now, originally I hadn't planned on picking up any of the Hobbit toys, but I ran across a batch of them on clearance, and I decided, what the heck. So here today, I will be opening them even, because they are unopened, and since this is opening the package, we open them. And I will be doing some comparison, because this set here, which is Frodo and Gollum, was the set that I saw... Bilbo! I'm sorry. Bilbo! Bilbo Baggins and Gollum. This set is the one I first saw that made me wonder if I'd collect it, primarily because I was not impressed with Bilbo. Okay? So, we are going to compare this Bilbo to the 6-inch version from the same collection. Now, basically, a couple episodes ago, I did one on the Lord of the Rings toys by Toy Biz, which were really well done. And for some weird reason, they decided to switch companies. This is done by the Bridge Direct. Never heard of them, but they are the toy company that got the license rights for the Hobbit. So here we are opening. Nice and easy to open. I like that. I know there's security reasons not to, but still. So you got Bilbo. You got Sting, which is taped in there. So I can't quite get that out too easily. And a couple little pouches for him. And of course you got Gollum. So, let's look at the figures by themselves real quick. Not too much in articulation for Gollum. Just basically his shoulders at the waist. He has that funny thing in the head, but no elbows or knees on him. No feet. Decent detail. Don't know if I really like the paint job on the face. Doesn't look quite right to me. But that's the Gollum. Fairly simple. Like I said, not much in the way of articulation. Nothing too special, really. But, of course, he's a small-scale Gollum, which is kind of cool. So you can put him in with small-scale figures. Then you have the small-scale Bilbo. Okay, so he has leg, knee, elbow, knees, all that basic articulation. Not too bad. The sheath looks like it holds Sting. You can see that right there, which is always kind of cool. Now, my problem with him, first off, the face doesn't look like anything specific, really. And it looks like he has a bad wig on, which is never a good thing with toys. Also, there's no real depth to his outfit. It's all one color, rather plain. They didn't do anything to really bring it out. It looks, cartoonish, if anything. So let's compare to the 6-inch. Now the 6-inch is my son picked up. I decided to go with the small scale. My boys decided to go with the big scales here. So, interestingly enough, exact same accessories. He has Sting, he has the pouch, he has what looks like water bottles. And actually, it almost looks like they basically just did the exact same thing, just scaled down. More articulation on the big one, which isn't overly surprising. You can do a lot more. The feet can move. But the basic design actually looks about the same, except for the fact the face does look detailed. Still looks like he has a bad wig on, which I wish they could have done something about. But you look at the face does look better, more accurate. You look at the outfit itself, it has some detail to it, even minor stuff. It looks like they dry brushed onto the coat and the jacket sleeves and stuff there, which gives it more depth. It doesn't look cartoony. Well, like I said, this looks a bit cartoony. This figure alone did not bring me in. This is a lot better. The larger scale of the Bilbo. So, you can see a fair amount of difference between the detail there, which is good to see. So, Bilbo-wise, I definitely recommend the 6-inch compared to the 3-inch. There's a noticeable quality difference between the two. What?
Show it.
The package? Okay, well, my son wants me to show the package for some reason. You can see they did, your basic stuff. Here you have the basic story of the Hobbit, and you have like a, summary of the character and a picture from the movie itself. On the back of the other package, of course, since you have Golem, you have the 2 summaries. So, and they do show the others. Not very many figures, and of course what they did was Legolas, and I can never pronounce her name right, but 2 characters that are not important to The Hobbit at all, but were from Lord of the Rings and had a following. So hey, let's do figures of them again because we can get away with it. I don't think that was the smartest move. Focus on the actual characters needed for The Hobbit, because I don't... only one dwarf got made in the larger scale. I don't think they got all 12 of them in the small scale. Huge mistake, because much more you can see the Legolas and What's-Her-Face 2-pack. Why? You didn't need those. Especially not for the first series. If you want to do them, hold them off till a future series. That was a huge mistake. So the next figure we're going to look at is the really key one, Thorin Oakenshield. And which one we'll do a comparison because we do have the 6-inch version of him as well. So once more, opening the package. Yeah. Okay, so what do we got? We got Thorin Oakenshield. He comes with 2 blades, his initial sword, and the Goblin Cleaver that you find. And it has a sheath to it, of course, which is cool. Love it when they do it right and have swords that go into sheaths, because that looks really cool. Okay, you got a peg for his back, so it hooks on his back. He has the Oakenshield that he's named for, and it has a peg that hooks right onto his arm, it looks like. And we'll hold that off, not worry about it too much. See if we can fit this in real quick. There we go. And it is on his back. Well, it looks good. Let's see if we can get his other sword. His other sword's taped in there. The tape. I understand why they tape them, but it's really annoying to get stuff out of tape in these figures. So we will skip that sword for now, and we will compare the 2 figures. Okay, the first noticeable difference is the larger one has his little fur vest on, while the smaller one doesn't get that. Otherwise, they're actually really close. Even the Oakenshield thing, holds on the same way. I mean, this is really... I must say, this one... They did a much better job with the small version of Thorin than they did with the small version of Frodo. By far. Bilbo! Sorry, Bilbo! Nah. Nice slip up. So, more gray hairs, but that's not that big of a detail. So, all in all, I'm looking at the 2, and they really do look a lot alike. The detail is very close to being the same. Face. Yeah, well, the face is a little better detail in the larger, which is expected, than the smaller. But, like I said, that's expected. All in all, I'm really impressed with this. Now, one thing that happened, we've only had these toys for a short while, and it's already broke, which is not a good sign. What happened here, and this is one problem I have with some of the more modern figures, is it is hard to get weapons into their hands. So while trying to get this in, that piece snapped off really easily. Not a good sign for quality. And it was one of my complaints in general about modern toys, is that they work on certain things and they make it so it is impractical. I mean, you can't just slip it in easily. You have to fight to get them to hold their weapons. I don't like that. I wish the toy companies would think about stuff like that beforehand. But, the detail is could be really awesome. And of course, both swords fit in their sheaths just fine. Now, the interesting thing is, so far from what I've seen, all the 12-inch and the smaller scale come with the exact same accessories. And really, like I said, a lot of it looks like they just almost might have used almost the same molds, even just shrunk them down. The detail is so close. They definitely had this, made sure the sculpts were similar, which is pretty cool. So those are the ones we're going to compare. We'll open a few more. We got Gandalf the Grey, and the key character in all the movies. The only actual one that is in all, will be in all 3 of the new ones and all 3 of the old ones, because Bilbo does not make it in all 3. We only see him in 2. So let's see what he has. We have... So, we got Gandalf. He has a hat Let's see how well the hat fits on. That's going to have a problem you'd expect, it looks like. It stays on better than I thought. But hats like this, you know, the only thing I've ever seen that did a real good job with hats is the Muppet line for Palisades, which I will have to do an episode on. But their hats were all magnetized. And so the hat stayed on, except for I ended up getting one that had the magnets in reverse, so the hat won't go on the head at all. But that's the future episode. He has his staff, which is pretty cool looking. And, of course, his sword, which... yeah, this is the one, Elven sword, which I can't remember the name of. Sorry. But...
That isn't the Elven sword.
Are you sure?
Yeah, remember it's the dark sword?
No, that's not the dark sword. The dark sword is shorter and all black, for one thing. But this is Elven sword that he then has in the next movie. Interestingly enough, the sheath is not that much longer, but the sheath is longer than the sword. The sword, I actually was expecting the sword to be a little bigger from the looks of things, but...
And the set doesn't have the crystal.
He didn't have the crystal at this point. That's where he gets when he becomes Gandalf the White in Lord of the Rings. So... decent... That's another toy that... So, decent sculpt, actually. Doesn't look too bad. And, of course, the hat falls off. But I like the detail. It looks right. Works for me. So, not bad, really. So, there's Gandalf the Grey. And the final one that I picked up... Now, there's not much for this series, remember. I looked. There really is not that much. Picked up most of the variety that the store had, even, believe it or not. So, let's see. So the last one is actually the first one I had to have, and I wish they would have done more with the Orc Hunters. But this is an Orc. Fimble the Hunter and Warg. So this is what I saw. It's like, ooh, these are on clearance. I have to have those. I kind of decided to buy all these others as a follow-up. Now, I was a bit disappointed that there wasn't more on the back for him to show what else was in the series, because with the Toy Biz one, they did a whole bunch of steeds and stuff, and you had a bit of a variety. You had a good variety of orcs and goblins. Not in this series. You barely got any orcs and goblins, and you really didn't get that much. This series, they've not produced much for it. They've not promoted much. It just didn't quite work on so many levels. So, here is our hunter. Decent, I mean, it looks right. He looks gruesome. He looks bloody. The face probably could use a little bit more detail. It's fairly, if you look at it, it's, really smooth, and while he's gruesome looking, there's not that much to it. The warg itself has taken some damage, as you can see. Decently posable. I mean, their neck, couple right there, cool. A lot on the legs. Okay, yeah, it works. And of course, you somehow get the hunter on back. Let's see how well he could ride, baby, ride. Okay. Probably have to play with them to really get them to stay on well, but it doesn't look like the cloak's quite made. Almost looks like these two are just made to be together instead of him actually riding them, if you ask me. There's no saddle or anything. I'm trying to remember if there was a saddle in the movie. But his dressings get in the way of him really getting on it right. So, okay, just point there. Okay, according to my son, there was no saddles. Now we got 3 weapons, but there's no holsters or sheaths or anything for them, which is kind of disappointing. Got a spiked little mace thing there. We got a funky dagger, and we have a spear. So, fun little weapons. I I'm not sure how to keep him on the figure, which is kind of disappointing because they've done such a great job with some of the others of having sheaths for every weapon. But he doesn't have a sheath on him anywhere at all. He does have a peg on the back to hold. If you can just, see, there's a peg right there. That's to keep this on. As you can see, there's a little peg hole here, a peg here. Sorry. And let's see how well it does. Okay. So I got 3 weapons and he has 2 hands. So you have 1 weapon that goes nowhere. I don't quite know why they decided to throw in that. I guess maybe you could make an army of them. Was the idea, by a whole bunch of just him and making an army of orcs. I suppose that could work. Well, they could have done a simple thing like, switch ahead and had a generic orc or something like that instead of character. But that's how it goes. So, not a bad line. Not much in variety-wise. I mean, you go out, I even looked online to see if there was more. All in all, there's not that many figures to it. Small-wise, you have the bigger variety. The large ones, it looked like there were, 6 altogether from the packaging? And 2 of those didn't even fit as to being why they were made. Focused on the Hobbit characters instead, not 2 characters that are just popular from the other trilogy. That, stupid move. And the small scale character-wise, looking online, I think they only have like 6 or 7 of the dwarves, so you have only about half the dwarves available in the action figure form. And the toys, I guess, just didn't catch on, but I don't see them having really done anything to make them sell well. So it wasn't for a big blockbuster movie. The toys weren't given that much emphasis, it seems. Unlike the last time where Lord of the Rings action figures were out continuously for some time even after the movies were done because they kept trying to get all the figures done. So this line seemed to go just the opposite of the Toy Biz line for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. You're moving the camera, boy. Got my son playing with things. Hi, precious. So that seemed to be a mistake marketing-wise, I would say. They are on clearance, though. If you actually want to collect them, get out there. I found these all at Kmart, and they were doing a real good clearance deal this weekend. But, look around. I'm sure you could find at least all of what I have here, if not a lot of the others on clearance already, which is kind of sad. Because like I said, the Toy Biz stuff from the Lord of the Rings trilogy never stopped coming out. They just kept putting it out. And so by the time they were done, you had quite a good selection. While this seems to go just the opposite and have nothing. So, I don't know, kind of disappointing in some ways. But, kind of, cool pieces to add in my collection. I'm not upset with the buy, especially since I got them at like 75% off. And Hayden, stop moving the camera. So, if you're a fan of it, go out and pick them up. Most of the small scale stuff I can recommend. However, for Bilbo Baggins, get the large one. And I'm very much disappointed with the small one. It just, they could have done such a better job, I think, and it seemed like they really didn't care about the key character, the one that should have looked the best, because he is the title character. He is the main character of the saga. Why are you messing him up of all the ones? But, okay. I think I will leave it at that for today. As always, email me at opentpackage@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever about my little video blog here. I'd love to hear from you. And that'll do it. Thank you.